Welcome back to my animal education series, and today I'm here with Ian. Hello.
Hello.
What do we have here?
This is mchanga. Mchanga is a Kenyan sand boa, and the word mchanga actually means sand in Swahili.
How did you come into possession of this animal?
He came to us from the Como Zoo in Minnesota. That was back in 2013. So he's been with us for 3 years so far.
How old is he, do you think?
He is about 8 years old, if I remember right.
Is that old for the species of snake, or is that fairly young?
He's a full adult, but he's not old. They live into their teens when they are in the wild, 13 to 15, and then potentially even up to maybe 18 in human care.
What kind of predators would feast on the snake in the wild?
Raptors, larger reptiles, land mammals like felines, things like that would certainly go after these guys.
Where would you find this species of snake?
He is an African species from southern and eastern Africa, Kenya, South Africa, that region.
How does the coloration help them hide from predators?
This actually helps them blend in with the sand formations in their region. The lighter and darker helps with the multicolored sand and also with the rocks that are in the area as well.
I noticed that this snake's kind of a bit different from other snakes I've seen. It has a really short snout and a kind of stubby tail.
Yep.
So what do they use those for?
The tubular shape, worm-like shape, actually helps them bury and move through the sand. They are aptly named. They will bury themselves in the sand, and it helps them get underneath and move smoothly through the sand particles. And the kind of chubby, squat-like tail helps them, helps the sand collapse after them and makes it easy for them to move. Also, if you notice, the scales on the tail are keeled. Each individual scale raises up into a keel or a ridge, and then the rest of these scales are flat and smooth.
I was noticing that it's kind of shiny here with the light, and then here it's not.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's still shiny, it's just because of the shape, it
doesn't appear to be as shiny.
Yeah.
What kind of food will these snakes eat in the wild?
Small mammals, small rodents, large insects like crickets, eggs, birds, things of that nature.
Is there anything really unique about this species of snake?
Well, sand boas, like a few other types of snakes, but not most snakes, sand boas are ovoviviparous, which means that they do lay eggs, but instead of laying eggs externally and the eggs then hatching outside of the body, the eggs actually stay in the mother's body and hatch in the mother's body, and then it appears that the snake is giving live birth. But there is no placenta or anything connecting the young to the mother in a womb or anything. The egg is still in there, so they still lay eggs, but it stays in the body.
So it's kind of like the nest is inside the body, and once they hatch, they leave.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing about this species of snake?
I wouldn't say this is my favorite thing about this particular snake, but about snakes in general. Snakes tend to be one of those things that people either love or hate. And a lot of times people don't feel comfortable about snakes at the beginning of a program when I bring a snake out, but towards the end they become comfortable enough to at least try touching the snake. And it's always really fun to see that progression, and it also means that they're learning and becoming more comfortable with wildlife, at least to the point that they are able to accept and respect it.
And they use this snake for education. Why is it such a great education animal?
Well, that being one reason in terms of broadening people's horizons, but another reason is that a sand boa has an adaptation which is not very common among snakes, and it helps break people's preconceptions. The sand boa, like most snakes, is an ambush hunter. It's going to wait for prey to come close to them. But unlike most snakes, it's actually going to bury itself underneath the sand, and it has its eyes and its nostrils higher on the skull than other snakes. So it's able to see out from underneath the sand and is able to breathe while it's waiting for its prey to come close. So that's a unique adaptation, and it helps break people's preconceptions away to help them better understand that there's a wide variety of animals and wildlife out there, that each one is very unique and interesting.
How do you tell if the snake is venomous or non-venomous?
There's no easy way to tell. Some families of venomous snakes have common features. For example, here in North America, the pit vipers, which most venomous snakes in North America are in the pit viper family, the pit vipers tend to have slit pupils, vertical slits as pupils, and they tend to have triangular shaped heads. But there are many non-venomous snakes found around the world that have slit pupils, so that's not a guaranteed identification. Also, there are many snakes which also have flat triangular heads, or some snakes may actually be malleable enough that they can manipulate their muscles and flatten their skull out as a form of mimicry to look like a venomous snake. So there's no easy way to tell. It's better to be able to identify each particular species. Be able to identify what a rattlesnake looks like, or a copperhead, or a cobra, for example.
Well, thank you so much, Ian, for telling us about these sand boas. And if you guys enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram @Koshirk. As always, I'll see you next week.